Hi Tubies, here's Alexandra and welcome to another painting tutorial. Today we will paint a Gryph-hound in a quick and easy fashion. So, I want to make a white leopard out of this here. And in order to do that, I have built him up. I've covered the gaps we had here in the head and in the back with some plastic putty before priming him. And as you can see, I've primed him in white. And the first thing we're going to do, we use the contrast paint Apothecary White. It's actually quite easy. You just take an old brush and then you cover the whole thing with this color. Well, not the entire thing. We leave the head part separate. We will paint that in a different fashion. But first things first, we just give it a good coat of the Apothecary White so that we have a nice bluish gray shadow in the recesses. So, and that's it for step number one. This needs to dry then, and this will probably take about let's say an hour to 2 hours to completely dry. If you're batch painting, then you can totally well, grab several of them, and as you can see, this is done in under a minute for one miniature, so it's quite fast. Yeah, make sure you have hit every spot, and then, well, you leave it to dry. Be right back. Okie dokie, here we are back, and as you can see, the contrast paint is now nice and dry. And now we're going to highlight this, and for that we take some white, and we need a little bit of a darker grayish blue tone, like this here, for example, wolf gray. So we will mix those together on our trusty little wet palette. If you want to know how to make one of those, then check out my video about wet palettes on my Painting Essential series. So, just a little bit of blue. Just like that. See? So, and now we are going to dry brush with a very big soft dry brush like that. So let's focus back here. We take paint on the brush like that, and then we take a paper towel and wipe the excess off. And with that, we'll now go over the raised areas and paint those with that. So, taking color on again, wiping off the excess, and again. That we get a nice even coverage over the raised areas. And we still have the darker gray areas in the recesses. So, and when this is done, like that, we will take some more white and highlight this color even more, making it brighter. Then we are wiping off most of the excess again, and again we are simply dry brushing over it, gently, barely touching. it is quite necessary that the brush you're using here for this dry brush is quite soft. If your brush is too stiff from overuse, you can, well, dip it in some white spirit or acetone or isopropyl alcohol to loosen up the dried paint that is on there, to re-soften it. And I think, well, the white parts look good now. Well, in the next step we will paint on some spots for the leopard color scheme. Be right back. Okay, we are back, and as you can see on my wet palette I have already a little blob of the wolf gray here, and now we will just paint in some random spots on the fur. Just like that, here and there. Make it random, make them different sizes, some a little bit bigger, some a little bit smaller. And I guess we're okay that way. So, and now we take the same color that we used for highlighting the skin, and now we are painting in spot in the middle like that, and sometimes overlapping, you see, like that, and maybe to there. Just like that. Then the other side. And that's totally the secret to those spots. Well, you could also go for like a stripe pattern, like on a tiger, or something totally different, maybe stripes more like a zebra, or your creativity is there. Well, stopped at no point. You can go nuts with those Gryph-hounds. Yeah, so now we will make a quick little yellow contrast paint dot here on the beak, and we let that then dry again. So just take your nice contrast paints yellow, just like that, over the beak. A little bit more. There we go. Make sure you hit the recess. And yeah. There's a spot missing. There. Okay. Yeah, just like that. See? We have now a nice yellow beak. Well, I'll let that dry really quick and be right back. Okay, there I'm back, and now we will take some contrast paint Space Wolf's Grey, and with that we will hit the feathers. You could totally go with every different contrast paint or wash at your disposal for this step, but I thought, well, let's keep it in the blue-gray range and make it a snowy version of the Gryph-hound. So be careful not to get this space of gray on the yellow of the beak. That's why we had left that to dry previously. Sometimes if you're going too fast with the contrast paints, even when they're quite easy to use, if you hit a wet spot, they will mix instantly, and well, you know, blue and green will mix to blue and yellow will mix to green, and that wouldn't look so nice, wouldn't it? So also here the tail feathers, they are not feathers, but the plume here. And there we go, we are almost done. So to finish this miniature off, I will quickly paint off camera here the bells in brown and some gold parts, and finish up the base. If you want to know how to make the base, just check out my Painting Essentials video about bases, and there I show you how exactly I make those bases. And well, I'll be back when he's completely done. Okay, cuties, there we have him now in his complete and final form. And well, as you can see, with some contrast paints, a little bit of dry brushing, everything is possible. So they are quite easy to paint. Well, there are several steps of drying time involved, but when you paint like 12 or 24 of those in one sitting, then the drying time is not that big of an issue. So I hope you like this, and well, we see us in the next video. You're Alexandra.